What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Cyndi Lauper. Once again, I wanted to give a big shout out to Seb, major friend and champion of the channel, and the proprietor of the Cyndi Deep Dive. We're going back to the 1993 album Hat Full of Stars. I've enjoyed the way this opened. It was a sound very different from the stuff that she did in the 80s. Still with characteristics where it's, you can tell it's a Cyndi song, but ultimately it definitely had a different feel than a lot of the stuff that we heard from the 80s. And indeed, someone commented that, it was a more mature sound. She was going for, a developed sound, and even this one probably didn't get the attention it deserved and was, not like overly well received by the music press. So again, it feels like, after an initial flash of like big success, it feels like Cyndi was working uphill in terms of getting people to appreciate and respect her music. So yeah, crazy, because again, as I said, A Night to Remember to me was a really cool album. So yeah, looking forward to hearing more of this mature sound and perhaps continued evolution and development of the characteristics of her songs. But yeah, the next track on Hat Full of Stars is Product of Misery. Yeah, it's an intense phrase, a phrase that sort of sounds unpleasant or dire. Someone who has been their very existence or their condition or their status is born of pain, suffering, perhaps cruelty, but misery, not just unpleasantry, not just suffering, but outright misery, anguish, whether that's more immediate and physical or emotional, psychological, probably some combination thereof. So yeah, to be a product of that could, I suppose, be taken different ways. It could be seen as, this shackle or this shadow that you can never quite escape because, you are on some level intimately connected from what you come from. But it could be also that, look, I'm a product of misery, but look where I am now. Look what I've accomplished. Look what I'm doing. There could be a contrast with that origin relative to the current situation. So I'm not quite sure what to expect. Let's find out. This is Cyndi Lauper, Product of Misery, from the 1993 album Hat Full of Stars. It's almost like a military march, and then suddenly the full menu came into focus.
She's just a product of misery. She's just a product of misery. Every day she go around. Every time I see that frown, broken down, down and out. The drudgery goes on and on.
Feels very bluesy.
I just wanna say I ain't gonna live that way, 'cause she's just a product of
So it is a contrast, but
don't wanna live like she
one person to another. I guess it could be you're talking to yourself, but
don't wanna live like that, like a mother once before. She left her heart out by the door. Everybody passed it by and never bothered asking why. She's still locked up inside, watching as the world turns by. Now she's just a product of misery.
have to define you. I wondered if we might hear this again. I didn't know, like, I thought it actually might go like another section. I swear there's been like 4 or 5 tracks I've listened to in different deep dives in the last week or so where it goes into what seems like maybe an ending, but then it starts another section and then it fades it or like ends it quickly. So it like keeps you guessing. That was another one of those moments. I love it. It had a jazzy feel, a bluesy feel, which, you know, the lyrics were very bluesy, like being, you know, in a tough spot and ultimately a product of misery. And, you know, what was it, like, went to a wedding or went to a grave in like a wedding dress, or, you know, the idea that, like, you know, she waited for something that never happened, or, you know, by the time it happened it was too late. So yeah, it felt like, you know, very bluesy, very, you know, life can be hard and unfair, and, you know, some people don't make it. And this one, like I said, I wondered if the contrast is like, well, I came from a tough place and but look at me now. It seemed like it was more genuinely, that's what happened to her. I don't want to be that. I don't want to live like that. So again, I suppose it could be, you know, you're looking at yourself, but if you're talking about someone going to the grave, it's like, you know, it's like completely too late. Well then, you know, unless you're narrating as, you know, you're passing, it feels like she must be genuinely contrasting it with someone else. So I enjoyed it, like her vocal performance. It wasn't like crazy over the top, but it was, you know, the right moment. She pushed it a little bit, she made it a bit more bluesy, a bit, she gave it a bit of swagger, and ultimately there were some other moments where she, you know, does some light things that is making me think of the 80s stuff. So again, I do think there's some hallmarks where it's, you know, it's clearly still Cyndi, like, doing what she can do, but also exploring some different flavors, like rhythmically, sonically, and so on. So I dig it. I'm looking forward to more from this album. Do let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.